What limits the maximum RPM, Sean? Is it just air friction and bearing friction, or is it?
I mean, there's 1,000 different variables. I mean, in one way, it's an incredibly simple concept, and some of the things that we say tend to frighten people. You know, where we go, well, look, there's no back EMF, and that's just Faraday's law. There's motion, and there's an inductance gain, and all of these variables fit together. It will come down to the limits that are placed on any rotary system. Ultimately, you know, systems can only go so far. So we would test, for example, in vacuum systems to reduce the air resistance to drive the speed up. But also then you have to understand what we are. We're not selling boxes. It's not our business. What we're trying to do is to demonstrate a point, to take this technology to the market of people who actually build products. Because we can't do it. We're a wee little company. We're focused on developing, proving, and protecting, because we're a commercial interest, our technology, and convincing enough product development companies to get involved and put it in the real world. And they will have an awful lot more expertise in some of these areas than we do with respect to physical build issues.
Have you built any systems with more poles than these?
Max, more poles? Yeah, I think there's 4 in that. I know, so I'm not being flippant in the answer, but there's very few things we haven't built in the past few years.
Yeah.
Probably we spent too long building and not enough time actually focusing on it.
No, I just wondered if there was a relationship between the number of poles and the speed, like there is.
No question. If we take out 2 of these poles here, effectively you're halving your RPM. So there is it's not an entirely linear relationship, because your conversions in terms of moving, you know, air resistance and friction are non-linear with respect to speed. But there's an awful lot of variables here, and I will have to say that people who engage in this have to understand where the technology is. The technology is not conceptual. The technology is real. It's there. You can touch. You can feel it. But it's not going to be in your mobile phone in 2 months. It needs lots and lots of engineering to get there.
Could you put a guess on how long it will take these commercial companies to get a product into the market?
It is entirely a function of how many engage. And what we've tried to do is to lower the barrier to entry. So we're sitting between obviously needing to generate revenue so that we can continue this work, but trying to put a barrier to entry to a commercial entity that is low. So we're charging $419 for a development license, which is not a lot of money. Some people may feel it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money to a commercial entity. And what we're trying to do is, by getting more and more developers in, the time from where we are to product in the market compresses. So we're very, very focused, and what we'll be doing after this is we'll be taking this on tour. This is not the end. We're working now through February, but you will see us in the States. You'll probably get sick of seeing us, but we'll be everywhere. Yep.
I just took a few minutes to think there, and you see, I'm one of your replicators.
Yep.
So I'm in your database.
Yep.
I needed some time to think about what I just seen there.
Yep.
I'm not sure, if I was sitting out there on the internet today watching this, I'm not sure that I'm convinced that I've seen data that shows me, you know, to a reasonable degree that this is producing even a milliwatt more than you're putting in. I'm not sure I've seen that here.
I mean, you're welcome to your opinion.
I mean, volts and amps in, and volts and amps out.
Yeah, which is what these lines represent. Yeah.
But it could be simplified so much further. It could be simplified. I mean, if there is an effect, even if it's very small and useful in some way, you could simplify the device so much further. Well, so you could make it so much simpler that, you know, people would look at the device and they will go, "Wow, I can't believe that I'm seeing."
We'll have to agree to differ. I mean, the device is about as simple as it's possible to get. It's a rotor.
Well, I don't know. Maybe ask people. Has anyone here today gone and looked at this device and said, "Wow, I cannot believe what I've just seen here today"? Because I'm not getting the wow factor.
Mentioned your device. You said to me that the talk was.
Can I suggest that maybe we have the private arguments afterwards, and I'll take other questions?
Sean, have you approached the government with this technology? Has any politicians or government entities approached you to find out more about it?
We have been approached by lots of organisations over the years, but our philosophy has been a simple one. Our philosophy has been focused. We're a commercial company, yeah. We're focused ultimately on the bottom line. We've had to invest quite a bit into the technology, and we're now looking to recover that. And we're not trying to make this a political play. We're not even trying to make it an environmental play. What we're saying is the technology has a place in the market, and we're focused on the people who can do that. And the rest of it is, you know, we're 22 people. Is any other focus other than that is not relevant. Yep.
Did you say that there's a short on the generator coil on that system?
Sorry?
Did you say there was a short circuit?
We've shorted out the generator coil, yeah. Yeah. And by the way, and your question is on, you know, come up and have a look afterwards. Max will be more than willing to explain it to you. Okay. Yep.
In your demo, you had a D-cell which was being recharged by the induction coil. What is the longest recorded run that you have on that?
Of that system with the reed switches, I don't know, Seamus, probably 7 days. 7 days. We made a decision not to use optical sensors, which we would normally use, on the basis that it's more electronics and more components, but about 7 days. Yep.
I did some calculations. Would you agree that with a fully charged cell not being recharged, that the system would run for about 3 weeks?
Absolutely not, no. No, we're drawing about just over an amp.
So how long would it run just with the battery alone?
I'd have to check, but I mean, it's nowhere near that number.
So not?
No, nowhere near that number. I have to check.
I must have made a mistake then.
Yeah. Well, we did. We'll discuss it. Okay, folks, that's pretty much, we're going to wrap up there unless there's any other questions. I will again say that obviously this is our test system, our test data. We're very confident in it. We're doing it live. For those people who still doubt, the offer remains open for the rest of the month of February, starting Wednesday, to come in and test this yourself. Bring your own kit, and that's as far as we can go. Thank you. Cheers.